Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. Woo, woo, hump day, July 14th, and taking a look at our markets. This is the futures. Let me pop over here on the SPY chart. It does not show today's candle, but you can see yesterday we ended up putting in a bit of a reversal. So a reversal when we mostly talk about them when they're going up, like we take a dip and then we come back up through a candle. Well, this is just a reversal to the downside. The SPY actually poked its head up above Monday's high, and then reversed downside close. So a really nice reversal. And this is why when we take reversal plays, now I'm not saying that necessarily anybody took one in the SPY, but I think it's something to really pay attention to. So when we take a reversal like this, I personally think you take it for the day, get out, and then see if it continues. And see if you get the confirmation and the follow through of that candle, and see this would be exactly why. As of right now on this SPY futures, we're turning it right back around. Right? Here we go. And now this is a reversal, and I'll blow this up just a little bit. And I'm talking a little bit about these reversal candles because I get questions about when, how do you know it's a true reversal? How do you play them? Well, this reversal here, now these are futures, right? So they trade all the time. It's different than looking at the SPY chart, or even just the SPX chart. But so we dipped below the previous day. So this is a reversal to the upside. We dipped below the previous day, and then we came back up through that candle, through the bottom of that candle. So yesterday, the low was at 43.56.50. The close was at 43.59.25. And where you enter as it comes through to make that reversal, I think that's a personal preference. If you come as it just enters the wick, that is perfectly fine. The ideal is that you use the low of the candle you're in today as the stop. Or if you want to keep it super tight, you would enter as you enter the body of the candle, which in this case would be the close, and you'd use the wick from yesterday's candle as a stop. So there's a couple of different ways you can play it depending on risk tolerance or what the overall market is doing. Or maybe a sector. It really is all about personal preference, but that's what a reversal looks like, and one that we've been using for, long before our service. We've been using that sort of a strategy. Okay, so anyway, what are we doing this morning? We are moving right back up. Would have liked to have seen a little bit more of a break in here, just kind of help reset some prices again. We've had one day really where we gapped down, and then we had one day last week where we gapped down, and it felt very, very painful. But this really did help to set some pricing. I would have liked to have kept it a little bit more quiet, or just kind of even out a little bit and kind of just, like I said, reset a lot of those prices, especially on options. So, okay, but that's what the SPY is doing. So let's hop in here and take a look at what we are looking at for today. And at the top of my list, I don't know, I can't say enough about Apple. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Apple, if it opens up where it is, 148.45, it will gap up. This chart has just been on fire. And then yesterday they put out that they are looking to do like the Affirm, where it is a buy now and pay in installments, pay later, that they are going to move over into. It's really crazy just how well. Apple is kind of like a spider web. It just kind of gets gets out there and into everything. So Apple doing very well. I think that they may just continue to, kind of climb here and grind up into earnings. So I still think that day trades on this are really the way to go, just because you don't know when we're going to come right back in and get a little day of rest. That day of rest was much needed, but that actually coming back in and closing so high in the candle gave us an idea that we might get a good reversal yesterday, and we sure did. Okay, so Apple, I'm looking at the Apple 150s, and again, that would be as a day trade. It's funny, I actually wrote down Apple twice on my chart. Please don't ask me why, I don't know. And UNH from yesterday is going to stay here on the list. It does have earnings coming up tomorrow, so it would have to be a very quick trade. I think these are before the open, so it would have to just be for the day. Oh, come on. Just for a day trade. Yeah, it's tomorrow morning. So just for a day trade. Yesterday that would have been beautiful entry. Today I'm going to go ahead and up that. Yesterday I had the 420s. Probably looking at the 430s here this morning. We'll see depending on where it opens up. But it's just cracking above this new level. So again, a day trade in UNH. I like the 820, 420s or 430s depending on the open. Okay. Snow got out of this yesterday. Beautiful move up. Took put in a day of rest. Yesterday it popped really well, and this is I got out not at the top, but I got out as we climbed up, pretty nicely here. It settled back in, but this is back on the list to see if we now get that reversal. It's still staying in a pretty decent range, and I think this still has some really good potential here as it maybe just accumulates for a few days. We'll keep an eye on it, but I am watching the 820 snow 280s. All right, TSM. Earnings, again, coming up tomorrow. Oh, you know what? Never mind, because those will be before the open. Going to scrap that one. But staying in the this sector, I like this little wedge that's formed here. There we go. Looks kind of severe when I put it on a chart like that. There we go. Right? I like this little wedge. Looking for a break above this trend line in AMD. 820, AMD 90s here. I like the look of this. Just a little bit of sideways action. Both Visa and MasterCard. So I know some of you were trading PayPal, and so just watching all of those payment sites now. PayPal and Square have extra exposure to Bitcoin. But looking at the payment sites, Visa crept right on in here, and look at that candle it put in yesterday. Just a really beautiful candle. MasterCard did the same. I like both of these, so I'm going to go ahead and throw both of these on there for MasterCard. I like the 823.90 and Visa the 822.45. All right, back into big tech. Turning right back into big tech. Look at Microsoft. Blew through our moving averages, our trend lines. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of those off now. But beautiful, beautiful move here. And continuing higher yet this morning. You see, all the trend lines I can draw are going to be cut through. So looking at Microsoft, the 820, 285. Again, earnings on tap and may just continue to creep up right along there with Apple. Now, Amazon, I'm not putting this up as a trade, but this is one that I think is setting up for a potential reversal trade, right? We had two downside closes. Watch for a tap of the 8 and a reversal back up. Again, another one that's coming into earnings. It's actually sitting right inside this candle here today. So if it opens up there, you'd want to take it on the break of yesterday's open for the ride on up. And again, all of this will only matter if we get continuation in the market. Okay, and then travel stocks. So November actually posted in the middle of the night. I don't know what he was doing up in the middle of the night talking about the travel stocks. But yes, travel stocks, Delta reported here this morning. And as they kind of move along, it's putting in a doji so far today, but it did have a lot of good news out of it. So we'll watch and see if we get a movement right back up through the 200. These are definitely downtrending still in the airlines, but they one thing I was paying attention to is that they've talked about how much they've actually made up since the pandemic in their, because they were just hemorrhaging cash, and how much that they've made up since then. So keep an eye on all of these, whether it's Delta, United, you can stick more locally with like Love, Southwest Airlines, ALK, and watch for some decent reversals in these, especially if they bounce off the 200. Maybe the earnings from Delta will help spur some of these to reverse, and some of them have earnings coming up, so maybe a nice little catalyst. Looking forward to those other earnings, so keep an eye on those as well. Okay, that is it for me today. Oh, and Starbucks, real quick. Starbucks took a really nice trade in it yesterday. It's continuing on here today. I think it's just a great little trade. We'll look and see if that sets itself up again here in the future before earnings. All right, everyone, have a wonderful Wednesday. If you have any questions, reach out. Heather C, GivingTreeTrading.com.